The marketplace of Velcora buzzed with the usual chaos of a frontier colony. Traders hawking exotic wares, the smell of grilled meat from a dozen worlds, and the constant hum of translation devices struggling to keep up. Sergeant Aaron Vale moved through the crowd with practiced ease, his civilian clothes and fake merchant credentials hiding his true purpose. The Terran Defense Corps hadn't sent him here to shop. Intelligence suggested that a cell of Draketh separatists was operating from this very market, planning attacks against human settlements. The Draketh, massive, scaled beings capable of limited flight and breathing streams of bioplasma, had been humanity's allies for decades. But extremists on both sides threatened that fragile peace. Aaron's earpiece crackled. Target spotted. Northeast corner near the textile stalls. 2 subjects matching the profile. He adjusted his path, weaving between a Centaurian fruit vendor and a group of laughing human colonists. Then he saw them, 2 Draketh females, their iridescent scales catching the artificial sunlight that filtered through the dome. One was tall, her crimson scales marked with jagged white patterns that Intel had flagged. Zerena the Scorched wanted for 3 bombing attempts. The other was smaller, younger. Her scales were a softer purple blue, and her movements carried an uncertainty that spoke of inexperience. She kept glancing at her companion with obvious concern. Aaron activated his subdermal communicator, confirming visual on Zerena, secondary subject unknown, moving to intercept. He was 10 meters away when everything went wrong. A squad of Velcora, security, overzealous local enforcers with a reputation for shoot-first protocols came barreling through the crowd. Someone must have tipped them off. The marketplace erupted into chaos as civilians scattered. Zyrena's eyes flared golden, her body tensing for flight or fight. But the younger Draketh, the purple-blue one, froze in terror. "Lysara, run!" Zyrena roared, her voice carrying that subsonic rumble that made human bones vibrate. But Lysara didn't run. She stood there, trembling as the security forces closed in with shock batons raised. Aaron's training screamed at him to fall back, to let local enforcement handle it, to maintain his cover. But something in the young Draketh's face, the raw, primal fear mixed with desperate loyalty, made him move on instinct instead. He stepped directly into the path of the lead security officer. "Stand down." Aaron barked with the authority of someone used to being obeyed. "These subjects are part of an ongoing TDC investigation. You're interfering with Terran military operations." The security chief, a bulky crowvar with cybernetic enhancements, sneered. "Terran jurisdiction doesn't—" Aaron flashed his military credentials so quickly the crowvar barely had time to process them before they were gone. "It does now, back off." The moment of confusion was enough. Aaron grabbed Lysara's arm. Her scales were surprisingly warm and pulled her toward a side alley. "Move. Now." Zyrena, seeing her sister being led away by what she assumed was another enemy, unleashed a stream of plasma that scorched the ground between them and the security forces. The resulting panic gave her the opening she needed to spread her wings and launch skyward, vanishing into the dome's upper reaches. Lysara struggled in Aaron's grip. "No, Zerena. Let me go, you—" "Shut up and follow me if you want to live," Aaron hissed, dragging her deeper into the maze of back alleys. Behind them, the security forces were regrouping. They ran for what felt like an eternity, Aaron's combat conditioning the only thing keeping them ahead of pursuit. Finally, he pulled Lysara into an abandoned storage unit and sealed the door. The young Draketh immediately rounded on him, her eyes blazing with golden fire. "You're going to arrest her. You humans are all the same. You pretend to want peace, but you—" "I'm not arresting anyone right now." Aaron cut her off, keeping his voice low. "And you're about to get us both killed if you don't calm down." Lysara's chest heaved with emotion, her scales rippling with distress. Then, to Aaron's surprise, tears began streaming down her reptilian face. "Please," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Please don't arrest my dragon sister. She's not a monster. She's not what they say." Aaron had read the files. Zerena the Scorched. 3 attempted bombings, all targeting human infrastructure. 2 confirmed human casualties. By any metric, she was a terrorist. But looking at Lysara, at the desperate, aching love in her eyes, he saw something the files couldn't capture. He saw family. He saw someone willing to die for their sibling, no matter what they'd done. It reminded him uncomfortably of his own brother, who died defending a Draketh settlement from raiders. "Tell me why," Aaron said quietly. "Tell me why she's doing this." Lysara's words came in a rush. Our clutch mother was killed in a human settlement. They said it was an accident, but they didn't even investigate. They just moved on. Zerena couldn't accept it. She couldn't forgive. And I couldn't stop her. So you followed her into terrorism? I followed her because she's my sister. Lysara's voice cracked. Because I'm the only one left who can bring her back. She's not evil, she's broken. And I know what she's done is wrong, but she's still my sister. She still sang me clutch songs when I was scared. She still protected me from the older hatchlings who mocked my weak flame. Aaron's jaw tightened. This was exactly the kind of moral complexity that made him hate undercover work. Everything was easier when enemies were just enemies. The bombs she planted, he said. Did you know about them? Lysara met his eyes. Not until after. And I've been trying to stop her ever since. That's why I was with her today. I was trying to convince her to surrender. To seek justice the right way. And she laughed at me. Said humans don't give Dryketh justice. Silence fell between them. Outside, sirens wailed. Aaron made a decision that would probably end his career. There's a shuttle leaving for the neutral zone in 2 hours. I can get you on it. Lysara's eyes widened. What? You're not a combatant. You haven't committed any crimes. And if what you're telling me is true, you're the only chance Zerena has of standing down peacefully. He pulled out a data chip. This has evidence of your mother's death. Real evidence. The kind that might actually bring those responsible to justice. Take it to the neutral arbiter stations. Make noise. Make them listen. Why would you help me? I'm the terrorist's sister. Aaron thought of his own brother, of the Dryketh children he died protecting. Because maybe your sister's right. Maybe we haven't given your people real justice. And maybe it's time someone tried to fix that. He opened the door carefully, checking for patrols. There's a merchant named Kale 3 streets over. Tell him Sparrow sent you. He'll get you out. Lysara stepped toward the door, then paused. What's your name? Your real name? Does it matter? Yes, because someday when this is over, I want to thank you properly. Aaron smiled despite himself. Sergeant Aaron Vale, Terran Defense Corps. Lysara's scales brightened slightly, a Dryketh smile. I won't forget, Sergeant. And neither will Zerena, when I bring her home. She slipped out into the shadows, moving with newfound purpose. Aaron waited 5 minutes before activating his communicator. Target escaped. Secondary subject lost in pursuit. Returning to base. His commander's voice was sharp with disappointment. Understood. Report for debriefing at 0600. As Aaron made his way back through the now quiet marketplace, he wondered if he'd just made a terrible mistake, or perhaps the most human choice of his career. In the distance, against the dome's artificial twilight, he thought he saw 2 winged shapes flying together toward the horizon. Maybe, he thought, peace wasn't built on perfect justice. Maybe it was built on moments like these, small acts of compassion that refused to let fear and anger win. Maybe that was the most human thing of all.